Make the beep. Make the beep. There it is. Okay. Let's do some math. Okay. Determine the length of CD. Where is CD? Right here. If I'm going to find the length of a side of a triangle, I need a triangle with two pieces of information. Yes? That triangle exists right here. The green triangle has two pieces of information. Those two pieces of information are a theta of 32, a hypotenuse of 16, and I need the opposite, which is, I don't know. What uses O and H? Sine. Sine of 32 equals O over 16. Number on the bottom, so it is 16 sine 32. I do not have my calculator out. I do not wish to punch it in, so what is the right answer? Pardon? 8.5. Sounds good to me. 2 marks. What expression did you use to calculate that? I wrote it right here. You guys probably just punched it into your calculator, but that's what I'm looking for there. That is the expression. If you got 8.5, you get a free mark there because you did it right. Okay? Oh, crap, it's CB. Look at that. I read CD. What an idiot. CB is where? Where? Oh, right there. So CB is purple. Well, it's going to look black on there. What are you going to use to find CB? You got 2 choices. What are you going to use? Now that you know that that's 8.5, how will you find the third side of that triangle? You could do Pythagoras. So you could do the square root of 16 squared minus 8.5 squared. That would get you 1 mark. Or you could do the cos. You could do 16 cos 32. That would get you 1 mark. Or you could do 8.5 over tan 32. All of those would be acceptable. I don't care which one you used. That's the beauty of trig. But you don't get all 3 marks. You only get 1 for whatever one you used. Okay? Okay. What is the height of AC? That's the blue one right here. You shouldn't have how do you find that out? Well, if that's 45 and that's 90, how far is that? 45. If those 2 angles are the same, what does that tell you about this green side, this blue side and this green side? They're the same. So what is the height? 8.5, because you already knew the 8.5. That gets you 1 mark. And the straight line distance from A to D, right here. If that's 8.5 and that's 8.5, then all you got to do is the square root of 8.5 squared plus 8.5 squared. And that's going to be, I don't know, 13? 12 point what? 12 exactly? It's 11 point something, yeah? Yeah. So whatever. 11 point blah, 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 blah. Yep, sure. So that page is worth 5 marks. Give yourself a mark out of 5, because those were easy ones. All right, a lot of people were asking me about this question, so please pay close attention to it, because a lot of people probably either have left it blank or done it wrong. How many triangles must I draw? And one of the people that asked me how to do this shouldn't answer this question. How many triangles do I need to solve this problem? I need 2. Why do I need 2? Because the plane is where? Up in the air. But I only have directions to find the plane how? On the ground. So I need 2 triangles. On the ground, here is the airport. The plane is 37 north and 81 east. So here is the plane if it was on the ground, isn't it? So how do I find how far away this plane is? This is Pythagoras, square root of 81 squared plus 37 squared, which, if I am not mistaken, is 89.05, isn't it? Okay, so now I know that if the plane was on the ground, and I'll change color here, if the plane was on the ground, it would be 89.05 away, wouldn't it? But the plane is not on the ground, is it? Where is the plane? In the sky. How far up is the plane? 6. So now I want the distance of the plane to the airport. So I need this line right here, which is the square root of 6 squared plus 89.05 squared. And I believe it's 89.3, but I'm not 100% sure. What is it? No, I already got the 89.05. Somebody has this because I saw people that had drawn it correctly. So what is it? It is 89.3. Square root 36 plus 89.05 squared. It's 89.25. So yeah, 89.3. So the right answer for 2 marks here is 89.3. If you only got the 89.05, you only get 1 mark. Now this gets tricky, because if you did this first question wrong, you're not going to get the same answers as me down here, are you? But if you remember how I mark things, if you do the right math here, even though you have the wrong number, I still give you full marks, right? So this question is the angle along the ground where the airplane is. On the ground, is that the blue triangle or the red triangle? It's the blue triangle. Excellent. And the angle to find the plane from the airport, there's the airport. Is it angle A, angle B, or angle C? Which of those angles is the one that shows me where the plane is from the airport? A. I need angle A, don't I? Angle A is right there. Since I have all 3 sides, can I use any of the 3 trigs? I can use sine, cos, or tan, can't I? But it's an angle, so is it sine, cos, or tan? Or is it shift sine, cos, or tan? Shift. I'm going to use tan because I had exactly 81 and 37. I don't have to use any decimals there. Everybody understand? So I'm going to go shift tan of angle A is opposite 81 over adjacent 37. Then I'm going to find that angle. What is it? It is 65 degrees for 2 marks. I'm giving 2 there even though it's only 1 question. Now listen to me. How do you get marks for that if you didn't do the top one right? I would have given you full marks if you used a shift. You had to use shift somewhere. And you had to use numbers from the blue triangle, the one on the ground. So you had to use 37 or 81, at least. You might have gotten the hypotenuse wrong, but as long as you're using 37 or 81 in one of the choices, I will give you full marks. Good? Everybody understand? And the angle of elevation from the plane. Is that the red triangle, the blue triangle? To find an angle of elevation. Red triangle, because I got to look upwards. Where is the angle of elevation? Is it A or is it B? A, because angle of elevations go from where? Flat to up. So I need A. Again, do I have all 3 sides? If I did it correctly, I have all 3 sides. So can I use sine, cos, or tan? Yes. But is it sine, cos, or tan, or shift sine, cos, or tan? Shift. Again, over here, doesn't matter which one you use. I'm going to use tan just to keep it going. Tan of A again, because I called that one A, is opposite 6 over adjacent 89.05. And I get an answer of something like 4 degrees, isn't it? Oh, yeah, 3.85. So yeah, 4 degrees. Also for 2 marks, making that whole question out of 6. Is everybody cool with that? That's a very tough question. I like that question because it makes you do all kinds of stuff with trig, both Pythagoras and trig. Ecti. Yep. Depends on your calculator. We've gone over this. Do you have a forwards or a backwards calculator? Backwards, so you got to do the fraction first and then shift tan. Okay? Everybody else, if you're forward calculator, what do you got to remember? Brackets. Okay? And in a backwards calculator, you should also use brackets. Because if you go 81 divided by 37, shift tan, it's not going to work. Cool? Okay. Now, please notice, because this is a review, I gave you the diagram. All right? On your test, you have some diagrams, but I expect you to be able to draw some diagrams as well. Everybody cool? So I gave you the diagram here. It's got everything you need. I need the height of the tree. Where is the height of the tree? Is it A, B, or C? B. I only care about B. So I only need that triangle. Yes? Do I have enough information to solve it? Yeah, because I only need 2 pieces of info, right? I have a theta of what? 32. I have, what's this? A, O, or H? A. I have an A of 52. And what do I need? An O that I have labeled with the letter B. What uses O and A? Tan 32 equals O over adjacent. Number on the bottom, what is it? Multiply. 52 tan 32 to get whatever the answer is. What is it? 32.5? Does that sound right to everyone? Okay, 32.5. 2 marks. What is the total distance from the bottom of the canyon to the top of the tree? So that's this one, yeah? Oops, that's going to be a squiggly line when it shows up. If it shows up. Do any of you watch the show Scorpion? None of you? You do, Alex? You know how they're always using Microsoft Surfaces to solve the world's problems? And it never crashes? You guys have been in this class 5 days now. Has even one block gone by without my Surface crashing some way? No, good thing I'm not on Scorpion trying to save the world. So there's the blue line. Now what's my theta? 67. My adjacent is 52. My opposite, I'm going to call it little a is a bad letter because of opposite and adjacent. I'm going to call it x. So I'm going to need 52 tan 67. That's going to give me an answer. Is that the answer to the question? No. 52 tan 67 is 122.5. I guarantee one of you on your test is going to stop there, at least, because you're not actually reading the question. What's the actual answer to this? 155. If you forgot the 155, you can only give yourself 1.5 here. If you remember the 155, you get the 2. Making that whole page out of 10. Yes, Amrit. Because the question says, I want the total distance from the bottom of the canyon to the top of the tree. Right? And just like in real life, if you got to measure two things, you better measure both of them. Because let's say you're working at a bungee jumping place and you do your trig wrong. What happens to the bungee jumper? Splat. I've bungee jumped. I trust that the person building said bungee jump can do grade 10 math. I recognize how dangerous that is considering I teach grade 10 math. Come on, that was a joke. Nobody? Really? That was pretty funny. You know what? If your folks watch this video, they'd be like, that was funny. Huh? They would laugh. All right, next one. Two trees are 100 meters apart. Whoa, wrong pen. Two trees are 100 meters apart. 100 meters. From a point midway between them. So how far is this side? 50. How far is this side? 50. There's two trees. Wait. Of course I'm getting serious. I know, I get a lot of that. Hey, have you guys ever seen that cell phone tower over in Mission that looks like a tree? Yeah, it's going out towards DeRoche. I love that thing. I was driving along one day. That's a really straight tree. Wow, that's crazy. Driving along. And then it was just like in Star Wars. My son says, that's not a tree. Like in Geek Check, Star Wars, driving along. It's just by that small moon. Nothing. Hey, wait a minute. Gurmat gets bonus points. Where's my pen? What's today's date? July 10th. Gurmat gets gummy bears. Gurmat, gummies.
How many?
I think that's worth 3. Gummies. 3 for the Star Wars Geek Check. Because that's not a moon. Nice job, Gurmat.
I remember that.
Anyway, back to math. Boom. And then that tree. Copy. Paste. Oop. Damn it. That tree's over here. Meanwhile, oh, save the world. My Surface crashed. Still crashed. There we go. Oh, it didn't grab the tree. No, grab the tree. I want you to grab the tree. Save the world. Gonna save the world with my Surface. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows the world is savable by Microsoft. Maybe I should get an iPad Pro because they're nothing like a computer. I like those commercials. Your iPad Pro is not a computer. All right, screw it. There would be a tree over there. Piss off. Oh, now it won't even erase. Whatever. So this tree is 8 degrees. And then over here, if this tree were over here, I was going to grab it, move it there, and stretch it so it was taller. It would have been super cool, like on TV. But it's not, because not like on TV, this thing doesn't work. On TV, it works perfectly. And this would have been 13. So I need X and I need Y, because I need the two heights of the trees, yes? Yeah. So do I have a theta for both? Yeah, I got 8. And I got an adjacent of 50. And I need an O of X. And then I've got a theta of 13. I got an adjacent of 50. And I got an O of Y. Right? Soka towa. Adjacent would be on the bottom, yes? So this is going to be 50. No, I don't want to use blue. 50 tan 8 will get me x, and 50 tan 13 will get me y. I don't want to punch it in because I'm frustrated. So what are the answers? 7.02. Yeah, 7.02 will be fine. So one of the trees is 7.02, and what's the other tree? 11.54. Is everybody happy with those answers? Yeah? Okay, give yourself 2 marks for that. You know what? You can give yourself 3 marks because you had to draw a picture. I didn't give you a picture there. You drew a picture. I saw your picture. You were like, is this the right picture? If you didn't draw a picture, you can still have 3 marks, Hermie. You know why? Because my heart is grinchy 2 sizes too big. Sid. Oh, the question does say how much taller is one tree than the other. So it's 11.54 minus 7.2 to get the 3 marks. So what is it? Sid, tell us. 4.5. To make it centimeters. Yeah, hey, look at you guys. You're all brilliant. Holy crap. You know what? You guys must have had a great Math 10 teacher. So it's like 452, yeah? Centimeters? Or 4 meters, 52 centimeters? Is it 51.3? Tripping balls. All right. You give yourself as much of those 3 marks as you feel you deserve. All right. This question is tough. Remember a few pages ago we talked about angles in the real world, right? You had to know that to do this. Armstrong Point, Roberts Point, Fernie Island. Fernie Island is 1750 north of Roberts Point. On a map, where's north? Straight up and down, yes? So here is Roberts Point, RP, and if I go straight north, I hit Fernie Island, correct? It'll show up there in a second once I save the world with my non-crashing surface. There it is. Fernie Island. And how far away is that? 1750. Says so right in the question. A sailboat leaves Robert Point on a bearing of 16 degrees. So north is where we start counting from, right? 16 degrees is to the right. So I would drive out here at 16 degrees. When I reach Coal Island, which I put on the map right here, I gave you the map for a reason, because the boat started at Roberts Point, went up to Coal Island, and then over to Fernie. So even if you couldn't read the question, you didn't understand it there, you had a map of it. Why? Grinchy heart, 2 sizes too big. How far did the boat travel? So I got to find all 3 sides, don't I? Is there a right way to do it? There's the right things to do, but is there a right order to do them in? No. So I don't really care if you don't write down exactly what I write down. Are you going to lose any marks? No. If you have the right answers, do you get the full 3 marks that this is going to be worth? Of course you do. Here's what I would do. Theta equals 16, adjacent equals 1750, and then I would do 2 bits of trig. My opposite is x, and my hypotenuse is y. I would use 16 and the adjacent to do them both. You with me? So the first one is going to be tan 16 equals opposite x over 1750. So 1750 tan 16. That gives me x. Then, what uses a and h? That's cos. Cos 16 equals a 1750 over y. So 1750 divided by cos 16 equals y. because it's adjacent over hypotenuse. Everybody cool? And then what do I do with x, y, and 1750 to answer the question? X plus y plus 1750 equals the answer. I haven't done any of the math, obviously. So what's the answer? I'll do it right now while you guys are writing down what you did or didn't do right. So who has an answer for me? 4,072 is exactly what I have. Fawaz, that is good poop. How could you get 50 when you had to go at least 1,750? But this is my point, Amrit. I'm glad this is happening right now, right? Because I can see on your paper you have work there, right? So you did some work. You just got to stop and think at the end of it all, does this answer make sense, right? Now, if you wrote out a bunch of work and got some crazy answer like 50, okay, I'm going to fix that in a second. You got to understand that, is it your work or is it your use of your calculator that's screwing you up? Do you follow what I have done here? You do, because you gave me a couple of answers. So you get that. So it must be your calculator that's screwing you over, right? So you got to start paying attention now while we practice, while we look at our calculator. Can you tell me how long x is? By doing 1750 times tan 16. Is that what you did? Okay, so how long was x? You told me it was 500 and something, didn't you? Okay, so you knew x was 501.8, correct? Once you knew x, 501.8, you didn't have to do trig. Could you have done Pythagoras? Yeah, you could have done Pythagoras too. What did you do for your third side? What? Oh, you haven't finished yet. Okay. So this must be causing you trouble then, because you have 1750 and you got 501. So this one has to be causing you the issue, yes? So how do you punch that into your calculator? Your calculator. I think you have a forward calculator, right? So 1750 divided by cos 16 equals. Okay, so that's correct. 1,682. Now you just add them all up. 1682 and 500 is about 2,100. 2,100 and 1750 is about 4,000. So you have the answer. You're just screwing up with your calculator. Which, again, everyone, please understand. If you write it down, you still get the majority of the marks. Right? But if you write it down, then give me a garbage answer that can't possibly be real. And I'm not picking on you, Amrit. But this answer can't be 50, can it? Because just this part was 1,750. Right? So if he wrote it all out, but then told me 50, questions out of 3, I'm still going to give him 1.5 because he knows what he's doing. He's just not thinking it all the way through. Does everybody understand? Now, you also need to understand why I'm doing that to you, right? Because there's two things happening here. There's figuring it out, and then there's knowing if you have the right answer. Those are two different things, right? I could mash on my calculator and get a bunch of numbers here, couldn't I? Is that showing me, as the instructor, that I know what's going on? No. Everybody cool? All right. Now the next one. So that was out of, I can't remember what I just said it was out of. 3? 3. So the next one, Curtis Point. See you in a few minutes. Point is 800 meters due north of Armstrong Point. So you look on your list. There's Armstrong Point. Now, guys, I feel bad about this because you had to look really closely. There's a line right here from Curtis Point to there. Now, hopefully, even if you didn't see that black line, which is right there, which I can prove to you exists, if I zoom in, see, there's that black line. even if you didn't see that black line, you should recognize that there's nothing in the ocean there. Okay? When you go sailing in the ocean, you don't sail along and hit Curtis Point out in the middle of nowhere. It's over here, right? But I do apologize. I didn't realize it photocopied that badly. So there is the 800 meters because Curtis Point is 800 meters north of Armstrong Point. And then it says you sail over to Kingfisher Point. So the sailboat leaves Armstrong on a bearing of 307. Well, north, that's 800. This is Curtis Point. Other way around, sorry. This is Armstrong Point. This is Curtis Point. And he sails away at 307. Where is 307? Well, if north is 0, what's east? How many degrees to get to east? 90. How many degrees to get to south? 180. How many degrees to get to west? 270. So the sailboat sailed off here. If he'd sailed straight that way, it was 270. But he sailed at 307. So how far is this? 37. Right? So if this is 37, that means this in here must be but my I'm saving the world here, Fawaz, with my high-tech Surface Pro 4 that never crashes. 53, right? So if that's 53 and that's 800, now you can do all three sides, can't you? Right? That one's 53. So again, does it matter what you do? There's no right way to do it. Or there's no right order to do it. You have a theta of 53. You have an adjacent of 800. And you need the opposite, which I'm going to call x, and the hypotenuse, which I'm going to call y. And then you do the same thing. Okay? Please notice, nowhere did I have to hit 307. But if I did use 307, I could still do this, but you would get some negative numbers. Okay? So, of course, what you have here is I'm going to do 800 tan 53, and then I would have had to do 800 divided by cos 53, and that would give me two answers, which I would add, and then I would add 800 to get a total answer. So that was 1061 point blah, blah, blah. That was 1329 point blah, blah, blah. So you should have an answer of around 3,190-ish for the full 3 marks. Is everybody okay? Sydney. How far is it from west to north? 90. All the way around to west was 270, yes? But I went 307. So if this is 270, I had to go 37 more there, yes? And that used 37 of this whole 90, leaving me with 53. Okay? Again, this is what you guys are supposed to be able to figure out. Do you understand what I'm saying? You know every fact about this. You got to apply it. Everybody cool? All right. The only way I could teach you every possibility was if we did this question 360 times. Yes? Because there's 360 degrees in a circle. Everybody sees how silly that would be, right? Okay. Did I start recording again? I did. Okay. The Mission Outdoors Club. Building themselves. They want to climb that there cliff. Now, somebody always says, why wouldn't they just climb the cliff and measure it? The whole point is to know what to take to go climb the cliff. Because they don't want to go all the way across the water and figure it out. So anyway, you sort this out, you do the math. So, I don't know why that's disappearing on me. I want that to not disappear. I do not want to collapse the ribbon. Thank you. So, I have this red triangle. And I have this blue triangle, correct? Where is the answer to this question? Is it in the blue or the red triangle? I want to know how high the cliff is, yes? Where is that, blue or red? Blue. This is my final goal, yes? Now, to find that, I would need 2 pieces of information on the blue triangle, yes? Do I have 2 pieces of information on the blue triangle? No, I only have 1. I got a 43 degrees. So I got to find 1 more piece of information. And hopefully I notice that the blue and the red, that's the same line in both, isn't it? And in the red triangle, do I have enough information? Yes. So in the red triangle, I have a theta of 69 degrees. I have, what is that? Adjacent, opposite, or hypotenuse? That is an adjacent of 30. And what do I need? Opposite. I need an opposite. I'm going to call that y. How do I find y? What uses O and A? Tan. So it is tan 69 equals O, which I called y, over A, which is 30. Number on the bottom, so it's multiply 30 tan 69 equals whatever it equals. 78.15. Now, on my calculator, does it just say 78.15? No, my calculator screen is full. Am I going to write that out? No, I'm writing out this, but I'm going to probably need that number. So should I clear it off my calculator? No, I'm going to leave it right there. So now I go to the blue side. Do I have a theta? 43. And I have an adjacent of 78.15, which is sitting on my calculator. And I need the opposite, which is x. What uses O and A? Tan 43 is O, x over 78.15. Now 78.15 is sitting right on my calculator, right? So I know I need 78.15 times tan 43 to get y. It's sitting right on my calculator, so all I do is go times tan 43. Or 43 tan if you've got a backwards calculator. And what do you get for an answer? 72.87. I want the nearest meter, so what's the answer? 72.8. Nearest meter? 73. Now, if you left it as 72.87, can I give you full marks? I can, because I control the marks. Would I give you full marks? No. That hurts, guys. That really hurts. Would I make a snarky comment on the sheet? Yeah. There you go. Okay? Everybody understand? Sydney. Oh, did I not? Wasn't it all out of 10? Oh, no. 3, 3, and 3. So that last page is out of 9. Sorry. That one's going to be out of 4 because you had to do trig twice. Everybody good? All right. Now, Ekdeep was asking about this question, and all of you have trouble with these when I don't give you the drawing. I'll get to that in a sec. We've done a few questions with guy wires. Again, if you don't know what something in the question means that isn't math, Are you allowed to ask about it on a test? Yes. So if I put something in there, a schmendrick is supported by two gobbledygooks. Are you allowed to ask what a schmendrick and a gobbledygook are? Nothing. They're made up words, Harmeet.
I'm pretty dumb.
No, Harmeet, you're not. But they're made up words to show that you're allowed to ask about it. Okay? Now, if I tell you that the schmendrick is 47.5 meters tall, that should tell you that whatever a schmendrick is, it grows up in the sky, right? So you could draw it by growing straight up because it's tall, right? All right. So a microwave tower is supported by guy wires. So I need a tower, yes? Is this art class? Do you have to draw, get out your pencil crayons and draw, a tower? I'm not done. Do you have to draw a tower? No, because this is not art class. What do you have to draw to show? A line. There's my tower. Right? Series of guy wires. I don't know what a guy wire is, Mr. Myers. When something's growing up tall, they put wires to it to hold it up so it doesn't fall over. Oh yeah, I've seen that. Okay, that's a guy wire. Just because, I don't know. Why are you called Amaranth? Okay. So, 9.8 meters from the base of the tower. Where's the base of the tower? The top or the bottom? Bottom. And it's 9.8 meters away. 9.8 meters. There is where the wires are. One of them goes up 37 degrees. One of them goes to the top. I love my Surface Pro 2. I'm so happy they got me this instead of letting me keep my Lenovo ThinkPad that worked. One of them, there's this one that goes to the top, and there's this other one that only goes up 37 degrees. So the one that goes to the top is 58 degrees. Now, there's another one that goes from the same point, but only goes up 37 degrees. Is everybody with me on that? So really, I have this triangle with 37 and 9.8, and I have this triangle with 58 and 9.8. I want to know how tall is the tower. Which one of those triangles that I've drawn, red, green, or this guy over here, will tell me the height of the tower? The green one, because the green one, 58, was the anchor point to the top. So the green one will give me the height of the tower, which is, of course, it's got a theta of 58, an opposite of x, and an adjacent of 9.8. So that's tan, yes? 9.8 tan 58 gets me the height of the tower. Which is 15.68 meters. 15.68. How far from the top of the tower is the second guy wire attached? So then I need the red one, which I know is going to be 9.8 tan 37. Which is 7.38. How do I find out how far from the top? What do I do with those two numbers to find out how far it is from the top? Add them? Subtract them. 15.68 minus 7.38. 0, 3, 15 minus 7. 8.3 meters. All that for 4 marks, because that was a tricky drawing to do. Does anybody have any questions about it? Yeah, 9? It's 8.3 Ek deep. Hey, Ek deep, you owe me $8.30, but I'll take 9. Would you pay 9? I think maybe you've been wearing your headgear?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. Of course it's on video, but I didn't say his name. No, I didn't. I said Ekdeep's name. I've said Amrit's name a bunch today. Okay. A suspension bridge. If you don't know what a suspension bridge looks like, can you do this question? You don't. If you don't know what it looks like, you can't do this question. Are you allowed to ask me?
Yeah.
Why? Because that's not math, is it? Okay, a suspension bridge looks like this. There's the bridge. There's a tower. And there's wires that hold it up. Now, when you read this question, one of the world's longest suspension bridges covered. The towers of the bridge reach about 135 above the level of the bridge. The angles of elevation of the towers measured from the center of the bridge and either end. So, how many towers do I need? 2, because that's how many towers there are. So, the towers are 135 above the level of bridge. There's the 135 because that goes up. The angles of elevation of the towers from the center of the bridge, and either end are 10.8 and 18.65. Does it matter where I put the 10.8 and the 18.65? No. But they're angles of elevation. So where do they go? Do they go on the red dot or the blue dot? The blue dot, because those are the only angles of elevation. So again, it doesn't matter where I put them. So the way I've drawn this, and this isn't necessarily right, this is 10.8, so this is 10.8. This must be 18.65, and this must be 18.65. If I put the 18.65 there, then I'd have to put the other one there, and I'd have to put that one there and that one there. Right? Now, I need the length of the bridge. So, do I need any hypotenuses? No, because I only want the length of the bridge. I've given this question a million times on tests, and kids are doing sine and cos. There's no need. I need this distance and this distance. And then what do I need to do with those two? Add them, x plus y. And then what do I need to do with that? Multiply by 2, because there's 2 of them. That's it. So x, I have a theta, 18.65, and it's going to be tan, right? Opposite over adjacent. So tan of 18.65 is 135 over x, and tan of 10.8 equals 135 over y. Numbers on the bottom, or numbers on the top, so it's divide. So I need to go 135 divided by tan 18.65 plus 135 divided by tan 10.8. And then what do I need to do with that whole thing? Multiply by 2. And what do you get for an answer? I think it's something like 2,100. But I can't remember. I'm sorry, what? 2,215. I get 0.4. But I don't really care. That question's also out of 4. by doing 135 divided by that tan plus 135 divided by that tan and then multiplying it by 2. Because the suspension bridge has to have 2 towers. Or it can't be suspended. Everybody good? That page is out of 12. Making the whole thing out of 12 and 9 is 21 and 10 is 31 and 5 is 36. Whole thing's out of 36. Now, on tomorrow's test, there will be a section that says review score. What do you write there? That number out of 36. Okay? I get 36. And the final answer was 2,215. By watching the video. There it all is right there, Ekdeep. You had to find one of them by doing 135 divided by tan 18.65. That gets me this distance. And then I had to do by 10.8 to get this distance. Then I added them, and because there's 2 of them, I multiplied the answer by 2. Because it tells you that the angles of elevations measured from the center of the bridge, this had to be the center of the bridge, right? So you have to have a second tower, or it wouldn't be the center. If there were 3 towers, that's not the center, is it? Right? It had to be an even number to be centers. Everybody good? All right, if you would be so kind now as to go to page 72 and let's write down some test review stuff to help you for tomorrow. Okay? You're going to be allowed to have your sheet out that has all the formulas and everything on it. If you look at that sheet, you will notice SOHCAHTOA is written on there for you, right? You don't need to memorize it. It even has a diagram of how it works, right? It looks like this. You have this. I even remind you degree mode and what everything is, and even how to do it. So what's the only way I can make this at all difficult for you? Sometimes I'll change the letters on this sheet before you take it to your test tomorrow. You can't. Can I stop you? If you're willing to risk it and I walk around and I see a bunch of crap written on there, what do you think I'm going to do? Yeah. It's notes. Anyways, so a couple of things about test review. 1, letters don't matter. You gotta know that. Yes, the example has A, B, and C, but the question might not. The names of the sides don't matter. Number 2, sine, cos, and tan are ratios, which means they are a fraction. They're O over H, A over H, or O over A. And those fractions your calculator gives you decimals for. That's what sine, cos, and tan are. They are not an angle. So, if I give you this question, 17 and 21.5 and theta, and I tell you, what is tan? Wait, just give me 1 sec here. I want to make sure I do this right. $27.4. If I tell you to tell me the sine, cos, and tan of theta from that question, I am looking for the fraction. Okay? And it would be O over H, so sine would be 17 over 27.5. That's the answer, because that's the ratio. Everybody cool? A over H would be 21.5 over 27.5, and tan would be 17 over 21.5. Would those numbers be the same if I told you I wanted them for red theta? No, because I'd be in a new spot in the triangle, so my O's and my A's change. Does H ever change? No. So that's the third point. Hypotenuse is always H. O and A change depending on where your theta is. Does everybody understand that? Right? Okay. Number 4. Sine, cos, tan are used to find distances. Shift sine, shift cos, and shift tan are used to find angles. And remember, this is all being recorded, so if you don't get it all right now, you can always watch it again. Is everybody cool with that? That's really all you need. Now, here's a couple of things that you're going to screw up on the test. I'm giving you fair warning. So that will do all your trig, right? Here's a couple of things to remember. 1, naming. A, B, C. This side, the sides are named by small letters. What is this side's name? Lil B. What's this side's name? Lil C. What's this side's name? Lil A. This side is also AC. A to C. It's also CA. Everybody cool? What are this side's other two names? CB and BC. And what's this side's other two names? AB and BA. Is everybody cool with that? Awesome, possum. Trying to think what else might mess you up on this. Naming them. Oh! Remember, your answer must make sense. Right? If that's 8 and that's 32 degrees and I want this number over here, I lie. Don't make that 8. Make this one 21. And I do a bunch of math and you tell me that x equals 19. Is that possible? Why? Hypotenuse has to be the biggest side. Okay? Don't believe your calculator just because there's a number on the screen, right? Make sure it makes sense. How do you make sure it makes sense? Draw pictures. If you draw it, you'll be good. Everybody cool? All right. Is that enough of review? Okay, now I'm going to take a moment and I'm going to ask if anybody had any troubles with the text pages that were page 70 and 71. You had the answers, but that might not be enough to do the work. Would anybody like to ask about 70 or 71? Because you couldn't figure out how to get the answer that I provided you with. Is there anybody who wants to talk about any of them? Simran, what page and what number? Page 70, number 15. Okay, anything else from page 70? Ekti. Number 9. Anything else from page 70? Going once? Going twice? Going thrice? Okay, so number 9, right there. Slide over to the side. Helicopter leaves its base and flies 35 kilometers west. So it's got to start from a base, yes? Where's west? When we draw, usually, left or right? Left. So he flies 35 kilometers west. Then 58 kilometers north. Where's north? Usually straight up, yes? 58. There is the hospital. How far is he from the base? What math will give me this side right here? Pythagoras, right? Because it's just 3 sides of a 90 degree, right? Because west to north is 90 degrees, right? So this hypotenuse is the square root of 35 squared, plus or minus here. Plus, because I'm looking for the hypotenuse. 58 squared. And then that's going to give you an answer, whatever it is. You've got the answer on the bottom. I assume you only needed to see this part, right? Okay. When the helicopter's at the hospital, what is the measure of the angle between the path it took north? Where's the path it took north? Is it 58 or 35? The path it took north. That's the 58. Here is the north path. And the angle it will go back to the base. Well, it's going to go back to the base by a straight line, isn't it? That's how I'd go home. So I need this angle in here. So there is my theta. Since I need an angle, it's shift. What uses, since I have all 3, can I use any of them? I can use sine, cos, or tan, can't I? Because I just found the hypotenuse. Why would I not want to use sine or cos? Because when I get the hypotenuse flaws, what's going to happen here? It's going to be a big ugly number, isn't it? Right? If I use tan, I got no decimals. So I don't have to worry. But could I use sine or cos? Of course I could. So I'm going to use tan because I don't want to use the decimals. Opposite over adjacent, 35 over 58. You shift tan it to get the answer on the bottom of the page. Got it? Cool? Okay. And I believe my good friend Simran asked about 15. In a kite, the shorter diagonal, QS, is 6 centimeters long. So this whole thing is 6, yes? So how long is each half? 3. So I'm going to go 3 and 3. Is everybody okay with that? All right. QRT. QRT is 26.5. QPT is 56.3. Determine the measure of all the angles. Well, the angles are easy because it's just 90 minus, right? Because how many degrees have to be in a triangle? 180. 90 of it is used up here. So it's 90 minus 56. That'll get me the top one. 90 minus 26 will get me the top one there, won't it? Right? So the angles are easy. It's 90 minus 56.3, which is 35.7. And the other one is 90 minus 20 is 70, minus 6 more is 64, minus 0.5 more is 63.5. Those are the angles. And the answers are on the bottom. And then you had to determine the side lengths. Well, there's this triangle. So what am I going to use for the red triangle? I have a theta and an opposite. What do I need? Hypotenuse. So what am I going to use for the red triangle? Sine, cos, or tan? Theta is 26.5. Opposite is 3. And I need a hypotenuse. So what do I use? Sine. Opposite is on the top, right? So it's going to be 3 divided by sine 26.5. That's going to get me this, the red one. And then the blue one, I have opposite and I need a hypotenuse, but my theta is 56.3. My opposite is still 3. My hypotenuse is y. So it's 3 divided by sine 56.3. Cool? Okay. Any other questions from page 70? Once, twice, thrice? If you're lying, you're dying. Okay. Page 71. Any questions from 71? Once, twice, thrice. A lot of similar questions, right? Just less drawings. You'll notice that I started out giving you everything and slowly worked up to giving you nothing. You had to draw it yourself. Is everybody cool with 71? Number 9. So this guy right here, 2 office towers are 50 meters apart. There's the 50. If it's 50 down here, what's this one? 50. So I've been given the angle of depression, the angle of, determine the height of each tower, right? So if I do this triangle, does that give me this height? So this triangle has a theta of what, Amrit? 35. And what is this 50 compared to that 35? Adjacent, opposite, or hypotenuse? Adjacent. So I had an adjacent of 50. And what do I need? I need this. Opposite. What uses O and A? Tan. So tan 35 is O, X over A, 50. Number on the bottom? Multiply. 50 tan 35 equals the height of the short building. Whatever it is. The answer's on the bottom. The tall building is right here. Do I have a theta? What is it? 25. And adjacent is what? 50. I need the opposite, which I'm going to call the letter Y. So it's the exact same here, right? Theta AO, so it must be 50 over tan what? 25 this time. That's going to get me Y. What do I have to do with X and Y to get the height of the tall building? Atom. Right. This guy is X plus Y. Cool? Everybody cool? Everyone's ready for their trig test tomorrow? 100%? Everyone's going to get 100% on it? It is, just give me a sec here. It's 14 or 15 multiple choice. 8 or 9 fill in the blank. 7 or 8 matching questions. You know what I mean by matching questions, right? And I want to say 4 open-endeds. Some you have the drawing, some you don't. And there's a 5-mark bonus question with no drawing at all. So it is possible to get 46 out of 41 on it. If you do everything perfectly, including the bonus question. You want 5 marks and some candy? Deal. But to get the candy, you can't just attempt it. You have to get it right. If you attempt it, you'll still get some of the 5 bonus marks available. This is not a negotiation. Everybody cool? All right, now by my count, class goes until 10:35, so that's just about perfect. We're going to move on to basic exponents. Now, I don't know about your guys' grade 10 class or grade 9 class, but lately, over the past 4 or 5 years, exponents, for some reason, they used to be an easy unit. Every kid that I used to teach kicked its ass. Like they had trouble with trig, they had trouble with measurement, and then we did the exponent unit, and then they all got A's. And I know, right? But the last 4 or 5 years, this has become a bad unit for people, and I don't know why. I haven't changed the way I teach it, so obviously I need to, because I thought the first couple of years, okay, it's a weird thing, but it's been constant. So I don't know how to fix it. I'm going to try with you guys to fix it. So your exponents begin on page 78. In case anybody cares, that font is called Mathematics Boredom. Boredom. Yes. Okay, I just want to stop the